The U.S. is a vast country with diverse challenges, and while some states are thriving, others are facing serious issues that could lead them toward economic, social, or environmental collapse. From financial struggles to growing crime rates and environmental disasters, these states are reaching a tipping point that could drastically impact their future in 2025. In today's video, we're counting down the top 10 states that will collapse in 2025. We'll dive into what's driving these issues, backed by statistics and real-world examples, to see how each of these states is facing unique challenges. Stick around to find out which states are on this critical path and what might be done to prevent it. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth videos like this one. Let's jump right in. Number 10. Illinois. Illinois, particularly Chicago, faces severe financial difficulties due to years of debt accumulation, pension crises, and rising crime. The state has struggled to balance its budget, leaving it with some of the highest property taxes in the nation. Illinois' financial instability could push it to a critical breaking point in 2025. Illinois has over $140 billion in unfunded pension liabilities, making it one of the worst states in terms of pension debt. This burden puts enormous pressure on the state's budget, leading to higher taxes and reduced public services. Chicago's violent crime rate has risen in recent years, making it difficult to attract new residents and businesses. Many citizens are moving out, further reducing the state's tax base. Illinois has one of the highest property tax rates in the U.S., driving residents to seek lower tax states. This exodus only worsens Illinois' financial woes as the tax base continues to shrink. Illinois has seen a steady population decline, losing nearly 80,000 residents in 2022 alone. This trend suggests that financial and social instability are pushing people to leave, creating a downward spiral. With its massive debt, high crime rates, and population decline, Illinois is facing serious challenges. Without significant reform, it may struggle to avoid economic collapse in the coming years. Number 9. New York. Despite being one of the most economically significant states, New York faces major issues, including high cost of living, outmigration, and rising crime rates. New York City's economic reliance on tourism and finance has taken a hit, especially post-pandemic. With high taxes and growing discontent, New York could be at a tipping point in 2025. New York has some of the highest state and local taxes in the country, leading many residents to seek cheaper states. The high cost of living in NYC, including sky-high rents, is driving a substantial outflow of residents. The tourism and hospitality sectors in NYC are still recovering, impacting thousands of jobs. Reduced foot traffic in office districts has affected small businesses, causing many to close permanently. NYC has seen a rise in violent crime over recent years, with a 22% increase in major crimes in 2022. This has led to increased anxiety among residents and diminished quality of life in certain areas. New York is one of the states experiencing significant outmigration, with over 300,000 residents leaving in 2023 alone. This exodus reduces the tax base and places further strain on state resources. With its high cost of living, crime issues, and economic dependency on specific sectors, New York could face serious challenges ahead. Without major changes, the state's economic health may continue to decline. Number 8. California. California is known for its economic power, but it's also facing critical challenges like a housing crisis, wildfires, and high taxes. With growing outmigration and rising living costs, California is becoming unaffordable for many. If these issues aren't addressed, California's future could be uncertain by 2025. California has some of the highest housing costs in the country, with median home prices over $700,000 in many areas. This housing crisis is pushing out lower and middle-income residents, reducing economic diversity. California has experienced devastating wildfires, with over 4 million acres burned in 2020 alone. These natural disasters disrupt communities and place a heavy financial burden on the state. California's high income and property taxes make it one of the most expensive states to live in. These costs are driving residents to states with lower taxes, further straining California's economy. California has the highest homelessness rate in the U.S., with more than 160,000 people experiencing homelessness in 2023. This crisis is particularly visible in cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco, impacting quality of life. California's housing crisis, wildfires, high taxes, and homelessness issues are pushing the state toward a possible economic decline. Without policy changes, California could face even more serious challenges in 2025. Number 7. Louisiana. Louisiana faces multiple challenges, from poor infrastructure to high poverty rates and vulnerability to natural disasters. The state's dependency on the oil industry and low education funding are also creating a challenging environment. These factors make Louisiana's future look uncertain. Louisiana is particularly vulnerable to hurricanes, with Hurricane Ida in 2021 causing $18 billion in damages. These frequent disasters strain resources and deter economic growth. Louisiana has one of the highest poverty rates in the country, with over 19% of residents living below the poverty line. This lack of economic opportunity contributes to other social issues. Louisiana's infrastructure is aging and in need of repairs, with poor road quality and outdated public utilities. This impacts daily life and makes economic growth more challenging. Louisiana ranks low in education, with one of the highest high school dropout rates in the nation. Limited funding and resources for education hinder opportunities for future generations. With its frequent natural disasters, high poverty rates, and infrastructure issues, Louisiana is at risk of further economic and social collapse. The state requires strategic investments to avoid worsening conditions. Number 6. West Virginia. West Virginia's declining coal industry, high unemployment rates, and lack of infrastructure investment have left the state struggling. The state faces outmigration, limited economic growth, and challenges in healthcare access. West Virginia's economy is in critical need of diversification. Coal, once the backbone of West Virginia's economy, is in decline, leaving many unemployed. This shift has led to economic hardship for many residents who relied on the coal industry for decades. West Virginia has one of the highest unemployment rates in the nation, making it difficult for residents to find stable jobs. Limited job opportunities are causing many to leave the state for better prospects elsewhere. Access to healthcare is a significant issue, with many areas facing doctor shortages. West Virginia has high rates of chronic health conditions, and limited healthcare access only exacerbates these issues. With limited opportunities, West Virginia's population is steadily decreasing, with younger residents moving out. This outmigration weakens the state's economic base and reduces tax revenue. West Virginia's declining coal industry, high unemployment, and healthcare issues make its future uncertain. Without economic diversification, the state could face a serious collapse. Number 5. Mississippi. Mississippi struggles with high poverty rates, limited healthcare access, and educational challenges, placing it at risk of a downward spiral. The state's economy has long relied on agriculture, but a lack of diversification is holding it back. Mississippi's socioeconomic challenges have left it vulnerable to further decline. Mississippi has the highest poverty rate in the U.S., with 20% of residents living below the poverty line. This economic hardship affects nearly every aspect of life, from healthcare access to educational opportunities. Mississippi has one of the highest uninsured rates in the country and struggles with healthcare shortages. High rates of chronic illness combined with limited medical resources create severe challenges. Mississippi consistently ranks at the bottom for education, with underfunded schools and high dropout rates. This lack of investment limits opportunities for residents and hinders future economic growth. Mississippi's economy relies heavily on agriculture, making it vulnerable to market fluctuations and climate impacts. The lack of economic diversification limits job opportunities for residents. With high poverty, limited health care, and an underfunded education system, Mississippi is at serious risk of economic and social collapse. Diversifying the economy could help stabilize the state's future. Number 4. Alaska. Alaska's remote location, reliance on oil, and climate challenges put it at risk of financial instability. The decline in oil prices has deeply affected the state's budget, which depends heavily on oil revenues. Climate change is also impacting Alaska's environment and economy, making its future uncertain. Alaska relies on oil for over 80% of its state budget, and recent drops in oil prices have led to budget cuts. This reliance makes Alaska's economy highly volatile and vulnerable to market shifts. Alaska is experiencing climate change at an accelerated rate, affecting fishing, wildlife, and indigenous communities. These environmental challenges place a strain on Alaska's resources and economy. Alaska's remote location means high costs for goods and services, making everyday life more expensive. Residents face some of the highest living costs in the U.S., impacting overall quality of life. Alaska's population has been decreasing as people leave in search of more stable job opportunities. This outmigration reduces tax revenue and weakens the state's economy. With its dependency on oil, environmental challenges, and high costs of living, Alaska's future looks unstable. The state needs to diversify its economy to prepare for long-term sustainability. Number 3. New Jersey. New Jersey's high property taxes, rising crime rates, and budget issues have created a challenging environment for residents. The state's proximity to New York has led to high living costs, and many are leaving for more affordable options. New Jersey's fiscal issues may soon reach a breaking point. New Jersey has the highest property taxes in the U.S., making home ownership costly for residents. This tax burden drives people to seek lower tax states, impacting the state's tax base. New Jersey's crime rates have been increasing, creating concerns for public safety. This has reduced the appeal of many urban areas within the state, pushing residents to move. New Jersey's budget has been under strain, with high pension obligations and healthcare costs. The state has one of the most underfunded pension systems, creating long-term financial risk. With high taxes and living costs, New Jersey has seen a steady outflow of residents. Many are relocating to states with lower taxes and better affordability, which reduces the state's revenue. New Jersey's high taxes, crime concerns, and budget issues create an uncertain future. Without financial reform, New Jersey could face further economic decline. Number 2. Michigan. Michigan's economy has struggled due to a decline in manufacturing jobs, leading to high unemployment and poverty rates. Detroit and Flint, in particular, face severe challenges, from crime to failing infrastructure. Michigan's lack of job opportunities and ongoing issues put it at risk. Once an industrial powerhouse, Michigan has lost many manufacturing jobs, leading to high unemployment. This decline has reduced income levels and opportunities for residents. Detroit and Flint have high crime rates, abandoned buildings, and significant poverty. These issues discourage businesses and residents from investing in these cities. Michigan's infrastructure is outdated, with frequent issues like road deterioration and poor public transportation. The state has struggled to fund infrastructure projects due to budget limitations. Flint's water crisis highlighted severe governance issues, with ongoing health impacts for residents. This crisis has damaged Michigan's reputation and eroded trust in local leadership. With a declining job market, urban decay, and failing infrastructure, Michigan faces significant challenges. Reinvestment in infrastructure and job creation will be crucial for the state's recovery. Number 1. Hawaii. Hawaii is a beautiful but expensive state facing major challenges, from high living costs to economic reliance on tourism. The pandemic impacted Hawaii's tourism industry, and recovery has been slow. Hawaii's high cost of living and geographic isolation make it vulnerable to economic collapse. Hawaii has one of the highest costs of living in the U.S., making everyday expenses a challenge for residents. Housing, in particular, is extremely expensive, pushing many to leave the state. Hawaii's economy heavily relies on tourism, which took a major hit during the pandemic. The tourism industry's vulnerability creates economic uncertainty. Hawaii's isolation results in high shipping costs for goods, increasing the cost of essentials. This isolation makes Hawaii more vulnerable to economic disruptions. Rising sea levels and climate change pose significant risks to Hawaii's ecosystem and infrastructure. These environmental issues increase costs for the state and limit long-term sustainability. With its high costs, economic reliance on tourism, and environmental risks, Hawaii faces unique challenges. The state needs to diversify its economy to ensure a sustainable future. These states are facing a range of challenges that could lead to serious consequences if not addressed. From financial crises and crime to natural disasters, each state has its own struggles that could impact its future in 2025. What do you think needs to be done to help these states recover? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.